All right, guys, what's going on? Welcome in. So crazy day, right? It was the first day of legal tampering, so you kind of expect it to be pretty crazy. But man, we had a lot of news from noon up until now, which is 9:48 p.m. East Coast time. By the way, I actually have my phone right here, so the night is not done yet. We could still, possibly hear some more signings. So if I do hear something, I'll just convert this video into that video, right? Like talking about a signing. But in any case, I wanted to really take a step back and look at the Jets' day, right? Day one of the legal tampering period, and kind of just get my overall thoughts on it, grade the day, how I think the Jets did. Talk about some of the missed opportunities, some of the guys that landed elsewhere, some of the things that we weren't really expecting. And then, of course, talk about what we should expect tomorrow, talk about maybe potential options moving forward for the team. Because out of the $70 million that we've, have in cap space, we've only used $33 million. And again, the night's not over, but at this point in time, with three free agents signed, $33 million on the books for this season. So a lot of stuff to cover. Let's talk about the day and kind of just dissect it. So I think the big thing, Joe Thuney going to the Chiefs. Nobody saw that coming. Everybody was thinking, if it's not the Jets, it's either going to be the Bengals or the Chargers. Nobody thought he was going to go to Kansas City. And then he goes and signs a mega deal, 5-year contract worth $80 million. I get that the Jets missed out on him. It sucks for sure. He was the guy. He was the top guy, the top guard on the market, the biggest position of need for the Jets, especially when you look at the guard position at the draft too, because the Jets are picking at spot number 2. And yeah, we have the 23rd overall pick. We can still get a good guard there for sure, and even in rounds 2 and 3, but nothing up to the caliber of Joe Thuney, right? As far as short-term success, Joe Thuney is great. Never missed a game. He's consistent. All that stuff. We talked a lot about Joe Thuney, but he goes to the Chiefs. The Patriots were really, really active, right? Kendrick Bourne, Matt Judon, Nelson Aguilar. I felt like they signed like 8 guys. They brought back Cam Newton. That was a couple days ago. Traded for Trent Brown. I know I'm missing a couple. Jonnu Smith. The Patriots were extremely, extremely active. They got some talent. They upgraded some positions, but at the same time, they spent a lot of money. I mean, you look at the Corey Davis signing, and then you compare that to the Nelson Aguilar signing. I love the Davis signing compared to Aguilar's, but I guess that's, neither here or there. At the end of the day, the Patriots upgraded their team. They're spending money. They have the space. They have the cap space. They're upgrading. They're doing their thing. I just wasn't expecting New England to be this active this early. I felt like as soon as, let's see, okay, nothing as of right now, but I felt like as soon as the floodgates opened at 12, it was just Pat sign him, Pat sign this guy, Pat sign this dude, Pats. It's pretty crazy. So you're looking at what the Jets did. We signed 3 guys. Started off with linebacker Ronald Davis, former first-round pick from the Lions, 1 year, $7 million. I like that move. I'm not obsessed and jumping for joy. And then, of course, after that signing, we heard some rumors of a possible CJ Mosley trade. I don't really know what's happening with that because, in the 4-3 defense, you have that one inside linebacker. And I do think Mosley would be a solid fit for Robert Saleh's defense. I think he could do really, really well, but he's a big cap hit. He's coming off, he's barely played in the last 2 seasons. He's played in 2 games last 2 seasons. So he's missed a lot of time. He's definitely going to be rusty. All right. Missed the entire year last year because of an opt out. But hey, if CJ Mosley gets traded, he gets traded. It is what it is. We have Ronald Davis now to fill that role. 1 year, $7 million, a guy with a high motor. This guy plays really, really intensely, all right? And of course, there's that one play of him like walking up to the line of scrimmage that's kind of infamous. But outside of that play, he hits hard. He really wants to do damage. He wants to physically impose his will on, whether it's wide receivers, tight ends, or running backs out of the backfield, or even quarterbacks. 2018 was his best season. I think he had 100 combined tackles, 6 sacks that year. Loved him at UF. High upside guy, low risk, high reward style of move. Can't go wrong with it. Next, it was Corey Davis, the wide receiver from the Tennessee Titans. This move definitely shocked me. I thought Davis was going to end up in Baltimore, actually. He went on to sign a 3-year contract worth $37.5 million with $27 guaranteed. I gotta be honest, I just didn't see this move coming. I thought the Jets were going to be really active in the Kenny Golladay market, the Will Fuller market, Juju Smith-Schuster, Curtis Samuel. It was interesting that they brought in Corey Davis first. So Davis is that traditional outside guy. He has great hands, he has great size and speed, great box out ability, wins one-on-one, good in the red zone. I feel like the Jets have lacked that ever since 2015 with Brandon Marshall. Yes, Brandon Marshall was in 2016, but he didn't even come close to that legendary 2015 season where he actually set some franchise records. So I like the signing. I mean, it's a cheaper contract. It's 3 years. Corey Davis is still 26 years old. I actually love that. Love that. I loved it, or I really liked it when the news broke. But now that I'm kind of thinking about it, I actually love that signing. I really do. Now, Corey Davis has been up and down. I feel like consistency is his biggest issue. But if the Jets were to go out and get this guy on day one over Kenny Golladay, over Juju, over all of these different guys, we have to have a plan for him. We have to. So I feel like the Jets know what they're doing in that category. Next, the big one, Carl Lawson, the defensive end edge rusher from the Cincinnati Bengals. Huge contract, 3 years, $45 million, $30 million guaranteed. Carl Lawson's a guy who doesn't have the biggest sack numbers, 5.5 sacks. We actually talked about it in that video, but quarterback hits, man, 32 quarterback hits. That's crazy. That's an incredibly high number. He has great strength and speed. I cannot, by the way, he's a great system fit as well as that just a traditional 4-3, pin your ears back and go sack the quarterback. I really want to see this guy under Robert Saleh. That is my main, I cannot wait for that. I cannot wait. It's almost like, hearing this news, it's like seeing like a movie trailer that you really want to see, like you're dying to see, but it's like, oh, it comes out in next summer. It's like, oh my God, I have to wait all the way up until September to see this. It's going to suck, right? Waiting for it's going to suck, but I really feel like Carl Lawson will be a threat for double-digit sacks. We cannot get after the passer. We didn't do it last year. We didn't do it the year before that. The Jets have struggled mightily to get after quarterbacks, and it's horrible. The primary focus of this defensive line, the edge rushers, is to get the quarterback. Bring the quarterback down with 4 guys. If you can do that, this defense will be lights out. If you can't, it's going to get torn apart. It's just the sad truth. So we have to prioritize the edge position. So Carl Lawson on a 3-year contract. I love it. Fills a need. Great system fit. Again, high upside. We're not shelling out some $80-90 million deal. It's solid. So all in all, I would give the Jets today a B to a B+, because we did miss out on Joe Thuney. We did miss out on Corey Linsley. And I feel like the only reason why I'm giving it a B, because we upgraded the wide receiver position, the edge position. That's fantastic. Inside linebacker, Jarrad Davis. We attacked some positions of need, We got help on the defensive side. We got help on the offensive side. But I feel like the biggest question mark, the biggest need for the Jets going into next season, outside of quarterback, because that'll just play itself out. That's something that Trubisky's not going to be the answer. Tyrod's not going to be the answer. No free agent quarterback's going to be the answer. It's either Darnold, Watson, Russell Wilson, if you want to throw him in there, or a rookie quarterback, Zach Wilson, Justin Fields, Trey Lance, whoever it may be. That'll get handled elsewhere. That's kind of put to the side. But outside of quarterback, I would say the biggest position of need, the biggest area of improvement needs to be the interior of the offensive line. And today we didn't address that at all. And we lost out on Joe Thuney. We lost out on Linsley. Scherf is unavailable. So now we're looking at guys like David Andrews, the center of the Patriots. But we heard some rumors today about Connor McGovern sticking at center. We'll see we'll see what happens with that. Feliciano re-signed in Buffalo. It's getting pretty slim, right? At one point in time, this was a huge market. Kevin Zeitler got picked up by Baltimore earlier today, like super early in the morning. Norwell restructured his deal, so it looks like he's probably going to be unavailable. Like, the market is drying up quickly. So we have to prioritize this position, because we don't want to draft a guy like Wyatt Davis or Trey Smith, bottom of the first round, maybe early round 2, and just say, all right, well, it's your job to protect the quarterback, because we have absolutely nothing. We have nothing to work with. Of course, we have Cam Clark, but I don't feel comfortable just saying, okay, yeah, we got Cam Clark. We're going to be 100% ready to rock and roll for the season. I still feel like we need some body. So overall, I like what we did. I really like how we attacked some positions, but I feel like the biggest thing that we needed, we didn't address. So that's why it's not an A for me. So B to a B+. Now, shifting gears and talking about the future to what we can maybe expect tomorrow. Who are some guys that we can target? Let's kind of go through the list. So a couple guys that the Jets could be interested in tomorrow. I guess let's go position by position. And actually, now that I'm thinking about it, one guy I forgot to mention at the beginning part of this video is Yannick Ngakoue. That was another guy that I felt like the Jets had their eye on going into this process. He ended up in Las Vegas with the Raiders, signed a really team-friendly deal. It was only a two-year contract. I was shocked when I saw those terms, but I digress. Kenny Golladay, still on the market. Juju Smith-Schuster, Curtis Samuel, and Will Fuller. All 4 wide receivers, like the top 4 wide receivers, still available. Now, we have Jamison Crowder in the slot. I love Denzel Mims on the outside. Corey Davis obviously is going to be a starting outside wide receiver. So I think right now we can probably cross Kenny Golladay off the list. We can probably cross Will Fuller off the list. Now, Curtis Samuel, Juju Smith-Schuster, could those guys be an option? I would say maybe, because if we bring one of those guys in, I would assume we're going to be cutting Jamison Crowder, saving $10 million. All of a sudden that contract that we sign either of those guys to gets watered down a little bit from the savings of Crowder's deal. So that could be a possible scenario if they don't go out and sign Schuster or sign Samuel. I wouldn't be shocked at this point because we've already spent, again, $33 million here. And Samuel and Juju, I feel like they're going to have a lot of suitors with teams like the Miami Dolphins, the Washington football team, the Indianapolis Colts. There's a lot of teams, even the Patriots, they need wide receivers, Eagles as well. So a lot of guys still left. We have a lot of opportunities to continue to get better at wide receiver. Next up, some of the corners. The corners I felt like didn't even get touched in day one, right? We saw Ronald Darby sign the 3-year contract, and right, I mean he had a great season last year for Washington, so well deserved. But Richard Sherman's still available. He's been the guy that's been linked to the Jets ever since Saleh initially got hired. We'll see what happens there. We've heard the Raiders have some interest. We've heard the Browns have some interest, but I feel like all signs are pointing to the Jets. Sherman coming to New York. K'Wan Williams still out there. Maybe if the Jets fail to bring in K'Wan, we can reunite with Brian Poole. I mean, both of those guys I feel like are top slot corners in the league today, so we can't go wrong with either. Safety, Keanu Neal from the Atlanta Falcons. I feel like that is a huge position of need as well. We have Ashton Davis. I like him, but is he going to 100% get the starting nod? Like he's our starting safety all 16 games. Let's see what happens. Or do you want to maybe add some bodies? Should we attack that position through the draft? Andre Cisco out of Syracuse, one of my favorite players in the draft. We could attack that spot, but I feel like Keanu Neal, he knows Ulbrich, the defensive coordinator. He knows the system. He fits the system. He's produced the NFL level. I could see the Jets handing out a cheap contract, 1 year, $7-8 million. I think Keanu Neal would accept that. I think that would be really exciting. He has that experience playing with Marcus May, going back to their Florida days. We'll see what happens. There's a lot of guys left on this list, man. A lot of guys still available. It sucks. Some guys, they're gone. Tooney, gone. Linsley, gone. Yannick, out. But there's still so much room for improvement. There's still so many guys that the Jets can attack. And by the way, I'm not saying that I want the Jets to spend every single cent that they have. Not in the least. I don't want to make a Super Bowl push this season. I really want to rebuild this team so it gets competitive year in, year out. I mean, that's really the goal, I don't want to have this 1 year wonder. I don't want to be in cap hell next season where we're having to cut all of these players, kind of like the Bears are in currently. I want to create a stable, a winning foundation, a winning attitude, a winning culture, and move forward from there and slowly build and just over time creating a monster that just eventually wreaks havoc in the AFC. So I'll leave it there. I'll give the Jets a B to a B+ for today. We have a ton of options that we can attack tomorrow or even day 3. We'll see where a couple guys land. But the one thing I did find interesting is I felt like a lot of the guys that the Jets had their eye on early got picked up. Jason Verrett back in San Francisco, Yannick Ngakoue to the Raiders, Kendrick Bourne to the Patriots. There was a lot of guys that Joe Tooney to the Chiefs. There was a lot of guys that I felt like the Jets were interested in, but it just never really formulated into a actual contract. So I'll leave it there. Let me know your thoughts down below in the comment section. What would you give the Jets today? We started off really slow, but we had a fourth quarter comeback essentially. So love what we did. I'll leave it there. Thanks so much for watching, and as always, go Jets.